Hey, welcome back to another Motion 5 tutorial. I do a lot of graphics, motion graphics and text graphics and objects, graphics including objects and text and all sorts of stuff. And I normally do them in C4D because, to be honest, Cinema 4D is a lot better than Motion 5 for 3D text and graphics and objects and all that good stuff. And one of the first things you do in C4D, in order for the text or graphics or objects to interact, you create a floor, a background, a sky, or an environment. And I've not seen anybody show you how to do that in Motion 5, and you can do that quite effectively in Motion 5. So I'm going to show you how to create a floor in Motion 5 today. It's really easy, really quick. So yeah, let's get on and do it. So I'll put the project properties on the screen somewhere as well, and I'm just going to go here and click Fit. So I'll click my my screen, my viewing pane to fit, and I'm going to create some text. So the text I'm going to create is Motion 5 GFX. Why not? Why not indeed? And then I'm going to use my heads-up display, F7 on your keyboard, or this little button right down here, and I'm going to make my text bigger. I'm going to take the tracking down, and the tracking, all that does is just moves the space in between each character, looking in between each letter. It just allows me to take the text a little bit bigger. Click off, click my group, and then click my Motion 5 text again, and I'm going to put that somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle, I'm just going to put it somewhere in the middle. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to want to create a 3D environment. So I'm going to create a camera, and this will give me a pop-up box and ask me if I want to switch to 3D. Yes, I do. I want to switch to 3D. And we've spoke about this before. You now get a few pan camera, orbit camera, and dolly camera, and the actual camera up in the top right hand up here where I'm clicking, and that's what that camera does. So now I'm going to want to add a light. So I'll click the light button down here, just this one right here, and with this light, because I'm in sort of 3D mode, I can move it left and right, up or down with these arrows, and in or out with the blue arrow there, look. And I also have a heads-up display for the light as well, quick inspector heads-up display right over here. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move the light off to the left a second, and I am going to move it out a little bit as well. Now what I'm going to do is going to create the floor, and this is the point that I'm trying to make about creating the floor. I'm not trying to make the point about creating the light, using the camera, or creating the text, because I've done those in other tutorials. So if you've not seen those, please go and have a look at those. This tutorial's not for that. This is about creating the floor. So I'm going to go to my library up at the top here. I'm going to go to my shapes. Now I'm going to get this rounded rectangle, and the way you can put this into your viewing pane is there's a few ways. You can highlight it here and click apply. You can drag and drop it into your layers pane here, into your timeline here, into your timeline here, or you can just drop it straight onto the screen. Now because I'm in 3D mode, again I'll get the chance to move it around my screen, left, right, up, down, backwards and forwards with the respective arrows. I also get the choice with these circles to rotate it left or right, diagonally, or up or down, and I'm just going to rotate it round and just face it down so it's looking at us, right? So that's our floor, and instead of calling it rounded rectangle, I'm going to go to my layers. I'm going to double click in my layers, the rounded rectangle, and I'm going to rename it floor, just for ease of speech. Click off it. Now what I'm going to do, with these blue points you can see, I'm going to make the floor bigger, but I'm not going to make it too big. I'm going to want to keep these arrows somewhere in the middle of my screen, because we're going to want to move them in a minute. Quite a cool thing with Motion 5 is if you change something or edit something or resize something within the 3D mode, when you're in 3D mode, you get this perspective view just in the right hand side, so you can see sort of zoomed out actually what's happening. Right, okay, so that's our floor, and I'm just going to move it up a little bit. Now keep the floor selected, go to inspector, and just by default you'll have shape and style selected. You can see here when I'm clicking shape and style selected in our inspector pane. I want to go to properties, and then I want you to go to underneath shadows. There's a thing called reflection, and I want to highlight reflection. So click the box on reflection and then click show on the right hand side. Now we're just going to leave that there for now, but if you look back at our main screen, we've got a reflective floor. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this reflective floor bigger, right? Remember keeping these sort of in the middle, these arrows, because we're going to want to use them soon. You can see what I'm doing, I'm just making it bigger, and the rear, I'm just going to drag that right out, look. And this floor, I'm then going to lift up so it looks like it's the actual text is lying on the floor, or is resting on the floor, or on our background as it is now of our screen. Okay, so that's cool. It is actually indeed looks like it's lying on the so it looks like this is our floor. It looks like it's a reflective floor. So I'll keep floor selected. We're then going to go over to where we just messed with the reflections, and we're going to click fall off. We're going to select fall off, and the fall off just takes away like some of the reflection here, so it's not quite as prominent. And I'll show you exactly what we're going to do with that as well. So we're going to go to the reflection and the reflectivity. Is that even a word, reflectivity? We're going to just drag it down a little bit so it's not quite so prominent. And the blur amount, we're just going to increase the blur amount just a tiny bit. So our reflectivity, how much it reflects, is about 23%, 25%, and the blur is just on 7. And that's as simple as creating a floor is in Motion 5. So I'm just going to show you quickly what you could do. I'm going to move this light out a little bit. I'm going to turn the intensity of the light down and take away some of the fall off on the light, and let's change the colour. Let's make it a nice deep blue, light blue, like a light blue, and then I'm just going to increase the intensity of the light a little bit more, move the light up and across. That light is quite nice there, I think. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with the light there. So then we're going to make sure our timeline is at the start, or our play bar is at the start of our timeline. We're going to click the record button, then we're going to move up to 8 seconds. I'm going to drag this light across the screen like this, and with the blue arrow we're just going to move it in as well, and then drag it across some more. Okay, and then we're going to deselect record, drag it back to the start of our timeline, just click off so we've got nothing selected, and click play. And yeah, that's what happens. So now it looks like we've got a floor within Motion 5. I hope that helps you out. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the box below, and I'll put them at the end.